Many children and adults today are more interested in gaming, Snapchat, and TikTok. They don't read the Bible anymore and learn about my history or the history of my ancestors. The world is going in the wrong direction now.
Yes, it's sad, really. People should learn more about all the exciting stories in the Bible, not to mention what they can teach us.
We've got to do something about it, Dad.
Certainly, son, let's share the stories ourselves.
In Capernaum, Jesus returned, and soon the house where he stayed was packed. So many gathered that there was no room left, not even outside the door. Jesus preached the word to them, his voice filling every corner. Meanwhile, 4 men arrived, carrying a paralyzed friend on a mat. They desperately wanted to bring him to Jesus for healing, but the crowd was too dense. They couldn't get near the door. Determined, they climbed onto the roof of the house. With great effort, they began to dig through the tiles and beams. Dust and debris fell into the room below, startling the crowd. Finally, they made an opening, a hole large enough for a man. Carefully, they lowered the mat with the paralyzed man on it. He descended directly into the midst of the people, right before Jesus. Jesus, seeing their faith, was deeply moved by their persistence. He looked at the paralyzed man and spoke with authority. "Son, your sins are forgiven," Jesus declared, surprising everyone. Some teachers of the law were sitting there, questioning in their hearts, "Why does this fellow talk like that? He's blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone?" They silently grumbled. Jesus, knowing their thoughts, immediately asked them, "Why are you thinking these things in your hearts?" He inquired. Which is easier, to say to the paralyzed man, "Your sins are forgiven," or to say, "Get up, take your mat and walk"? He paused, letting his words sink in, challenging their skepticism. "But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." Then, turning to the paralyzed man, Jesus commanded him, "I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home." Immediately, the man stood up, his limbs restored and strong. He picked up his mat, a symbol of his former helplessness. He walked out in full view of everyone, completely healed. The crowd was utterly astonished, filled with awe and wonder. They praised God, exclaiming, "We have never seen anything like this." Their voices echoed with excitement and profound amazement. The news of this miracle spread rapidly throughout Capernaum. People discussed the incredible power and compassion of Jesus. The once paralyzed man's life was transformed forever. He was no longer bound by his illness, but free and whole. His friends rejoiced with him, their faith vindicated and rewarded. This story teaches us several profound lessons about faith. First, it highlights the power of persistent, collective faith. The 4 friends did not give up despite the obstacles. Their determination to bring their friend to Jesus was unwavering. They literally went to great lengths, even breaking through a roof. Their actions demonstrated deep belief in Jesus' ability to heal. This shows us that true faith often requires effort and ingenuity. Second, Jesus' response reveals his divine authority. He first addresses the man's spiritual need, forgiveness of sins. This indicates that spiritual healing is paramount. It also shows that Jesus has power over both physical and spiritual ailments. His ability to forgive sins proves his identity as God. Third, the story teaches us about compassion and friendship. The friends' love for the paralyzed man drove their actions. They exemplified what it means to care for one another. Their selfless act brought about a miraculous transformation. He is walking again. Finally, we learn about the importance of not judging others. The teachers of the law focused on legalistic interpretations. They missed the profound act of compassion and divine power. Instead of rejoicing, they questioned Jesus' authority. This reminds us to approach spiritual matters with an open heart and to recognize God's work in unexpected ways and places. Ultimately, the story encourages us to have unwavering faith.